All right, joining us now to discuss this is political scientist and public affairs analyst Nnamdi Abana. Very good evening to you, Nnamdi.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
And thank you for joining us. All right, so first off, what do you think about this development? Firstly, isn't it, well, I wouldn't call it strange that this is being proposed by members of the Senate themselves, but what are your views on that?
Well, I think it's a good development, and I think for the first time the Senate is taking the right step in the right direction. Come to think of it, the office of the president is a big one, and other executive and legislative offices that we have in the country. So we should actually have intellectuals to run those offices. The previous standard is too elementary, and that's why I think that is the reason why we are where we are today in Nigeria. If we've had necessary qualifications for public office holders, I believe things would have turned out right. You know, so it is a step in the right direction. I wouldn't like a situation where the president can't come on air to address certain issues during the electioneering campaign. The presidential candidate, he wouldn't be able to express himself or to answer cogent questions on national issues. So we need intellectuals to run our country. I'm happy with what is going on in Ghana. The Ghanaian president is actually an African ambassador, and he has really brought up the status of Ghana. So I want the same for my country, where intellectuals will be running the affairs of the state, both at the executive level and at the National Assembly level, legislative level.
You know, Nnamdi, I find it very ironic that for a long time, okay, firstly, Nigerians, they do place premium on paper qualification, if you like. Yeah. And for a very long time, the elites, they've not really been so eager when it comes to vying for political office. I mean, it still shows, even now, during elections, we find out that the majority of people who actually vote and who are actively involved in the whole thing are those from the grassroots, and those who you would term the not so very educated people. So if the elites before now were not even really interested, and that's the whole reason why those who were not, had sort of a free way to come in, because the elites didn't feel it's something they should dabble into. Yeah. So is this going to change?
I think it is going to change, because everybody is bearing the brunt, right now. Nigeria seems to be on autopilot. The economy is not really working. Almost all the key sectors that we have in Nigeria, they are not working, and we are yet to see any light at the end of the tunnel. So I foresee that in the forthcoming election, more people are going to be involved, more intellectuals are going to join in the race. Already, for instance, today I was reading certain analysis, and somebody was proposing that the next Nigerian president should actually be an intellectual, and some names were dropped, people like Okonjo-Iweala, Obi Ezekwesili, Sanusi, Charles Soludo, Moralo, P2B, and so on and so forth. These are guys that have been able to prove their mettle in their various, in their chosen profession. And they've been able to handle public office very, very well. So they've been tested and trusted. So I think these people should be given the chance. Should I really say given the chance? They should come out and contest. And then the orientation has to also start from the grassroots going forward.
All right. Now, there is this question that whether paper qualification really translates into effective leadership and governance.
Yeah.
Because I am thinking just because there's a difference between someone having paper qualification and someone who is actually read. The person may not have those qualifications, but the person is intelligent and, can express themselves very well. So there's that question. Does that equals good leadership and the ability to lead a country such as Nigeria?
Yeah, we shouldn't underestimate the importance of paper qualifications. That should be the first metric. So, for us to have a leader, the paper qualification has to be there in the first place. Okay. Secondly, you now check the person's antecedents. Okay. Like the names I mentioned now, they've handled different offices, even though they've not handled the office of the president, but the various responsibilities that has been assigned to them over time, they've been able to distinguish themselves and produce outstanding and remarkable results. So their work is there to speak for them. Okay. Someone like Okonjo-Iweala, right now South Africa is in recession. Okonjo-Iweala has been brought into South Africa to solve the economic challenge of that country. Meanwhile, she's a Nigerian, and we are having serious economic problems in Nigeria.
Yes.
Mogalo has some engagement with the United States of America and a host of others. So, you see, paper qualification is very, very necessary. Vital. Then experience, the track record of those individuals. We shouldn't get a greenhorn who will be testing the waters while serving.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, Nnamdi, I'm going to ask you my last question for now. Let's just say that this bill sails through, right? And then the minimum qualification becomes the OND, the HND, right?
Yeah, HND.
HND for the office of the president, and then perhaps OND for the other ones. And then you have this person who maybe does not have these qualifications, right? But he has proved through other ways, through the feats he's achieved, has proved himself to be, So are we saying that this person has to go back and get that qualification? What about e-learning? Because it is what it is. If the minimum qualification
e-learning, there are certifications too. Okay. So if the person chooses to go for e-learning and get the relevant qualifications, that will be fine.
Just to be able to vie.
Yeah. Then I want to draw your attention to what happened some time ago in Liberia, when the incumbent president of Liberia wanted to contest for the office of the president, but he wasn't qualified because of his academic records. He had to go back to school. He went to university, got a master's degree before going back to contest again. And he contested and won today. He is the president of Liberia. So for you to be able to get a BSc and an MSc, within a space of 6 years, then the bill in itself is talking about a HND, which is not even up to 4 or 5, 2 years, 3 years. So if you are really interested in leadership, you should be educated. And apart from getting those this is just the basic qualification. I'll also advise them to enroll for leadership trainings and certifications. Yes.
Okay.
Because you're not just a Nigerian leader, you're going to play at the global stage. When you are called upon at the international level to speak to certain issues, you should be able to speak on behalf of Nigeria.
Intelligently as well.
Yeah.
All right, so it remains to be seen whether the bill is actually going to sail through. Of course, it still will have to be
assessed. It has passed through the first and second reading. Now it's at the it will scale through. Yes. I believe so.
Okay, I share your optimism. Thank you so much. I spoke with Nnamdi Abana, political scientist and public affairs analyst as well. Thank you so much for having stayed with us.